2 more minutes, 7:05.
Okay, Prabhuji.
You already made it a streamline.
Yeah. Yes, I've done that. Just to see how many participants are coming also from YouTube, Prabhuji.
So then better we start it now. Okay, we'll start with the prayers.
I'll just introduce you, and then maybe you can start the prayers, Prabhuji.
I know it. I mean, I've been coming very often now. All the members are now fixed up.
Sure. Correct.
Hare Krishna, welcome everybody for today's discussion. Gaurav Prabhu, Hare Krishna, happy to see you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Very happy and grateful to be back with all of you for discussion of chapter 14 of Srimad Bhagavatam. Very great initiative, continuing with our discussion chapter by chapter, and I'm very sure, I'm very hopeful that you are reading the chapter simultaneously in detail, because we just give an overview or the summary of the chapter, but it's very important to read the chapter in detail along with the purpose of Srila Prabhupada. And it's very nicely placed program there where you get a section, what section you read in one day, so that we can actually keep the target of reading the 3 cantos in 1 year. Very, very wonderful. So let's recite brief prayers and then we'll Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namit. Namaste Saraswate Devi Gaurvani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashat Deshatavare. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratushri Namah. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Sapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari. Vancha kalpataruveshu kripa sindhu bevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Sorry, because of the change of timing, I think we lost many of the devotees who were coming. Maybe they'll hear on YouTube later. Because we had one Srila Prabhupada disciple from US here at Pune, his name is Vaisakhi Prabhu. Many of you might have heard his Kirtans, Vrindavan Ras and Narsingh Arsi. He's a very special singer. He has learned Bengali ragas and he has given them a little more Western touch. Very heart-touching Kirtans. So, he has been here, he was giving the class, so I thought I will not miss the class, and that's why we got delayed for today evening. But all participants could not join. But anyway, we will continue with our discussion on this. So today we are discussing chapter number 14 of first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and this chapter is entitled as this. Sorry, I'll share the PPT. I got the PPT from the chapter. So this chapter is entitled as the disappearance of Lord Krsna. Very, very beautiful chapter. Srimad Bhagavatam, the word Srimad means unto one who is very beautiful. So Bhagavatam is the narration of very beautiful pastime between the Lord and the devotee. So the chapter content after the last chapter we saw in the chapter number 13, that Vidurji has come back to Hastinapura, and he was very warmly received by Yudhishtir Maharaj. And after being received by Yudhishtir Maharaj, then Vidurji tells about all his pilgrims to different places, pilgrimages to different places, and then he stays for a few days, and later on he preaches very strongly to Dhritarashtra Maharaj, and Dhritarashtra becomes detached, and that's why the last chapter is entitled as Dhritarashtra quits home. It was such a big news. It became a chapter in Bhagavat. Dhritarashtra was very strongly attached, could not leave home easily. So, and then after that, Vidura went with them, Dhritarashtra, Gandhari, and Vidura. And Yudhishthira Maharaj and Sanjay, they were lamenting. At that time, Narad Muni comes, and Narad Muni gives a very strong lecture. Actually, when there is lamentation, we can definitely sympathize with people, and that is important to give them emotional support and give them warmth. It should be there. But at the same time, it's very important to enlighten people, because oftentimes lamentation is because of ignorance of the real knowledge. And that is what you find in Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, that whenever there are incidences of lamentation, lamenting, then along with sympathy, along with emotional support, the true knowledge is also given, so that a person really understands the truth and then stops lamenting. And there are so many examples for that. Bhagavad Gita itself, Arjuna was lamenting, oh, how will I kill my relatives? And Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita. Krishna did not agree with his sentimental proposal. He spoke Bhagavad Gita and convinced him that he should fight. That is his duty. And many instances in Bhagavatam later we find the 6th canto that Maharaj Chitraketu is lamenting on the death of his son, and he and his wife Krutaditi, they were lamenting, and then again Angira Muni, Narad Muni come, and then they again enlighten them that lamentation is okay, but you should know the real truth also. So real knowledge is very important. Only sympathy is not all in all. Along with sympathy, we should also enlighten people. So here Narad Muni comes and really preaches strongly to Yudhishthira Maharaj and says that, see, time is taking everyone away, right? And this world very soon will be bereft of the association of Lord Krsna. So you also rule the kingdom till the time Krishna is there, after that you leave. So like that he tells, and now, you know, in this chapter we find that Yudhishthira Maharaj predicting that perhaps Krishna has disappeared, then he is going through that thought process. So Maharaj is just suspecting the disappearance of Krishna. He's seeing the bad omens in the kingdom. And then Arjuna has gone to Dwaraka 7 months back, right? So Yudhishthira Maharaj is wondering why he has not come back, and he's anticipating his return. And when he returns, then Yudhishthira Maharaj asked him a series of questions, because he was looking so morose and so depressed. And finally, at the last verse of the chapter, you know, Yudhishthira Maharaj asked for confirmation of his fear whether Krishna has disappeared from this planet. So this is how the chapter flows. So in the first verse, Sutta Goswami is saying that Arjuna went to Dwaraka to see Lord Shri Krishna and other friends, and also to learn from the Lord of his next activities. So the devotee always wants to know what is the plan of the Lord, so that he can participate in that plan. So now that Kurukshetra war has been over and Dharma Samstapana has happened, so they wanted to know that what exactly is happening, what is Lord going to do next. That was their query. So for this purpose, Arjuna had gone, and it has been 7 months. It has been 7 months since Arjuna had gone to Dwaraka. So Yudhishthira Maharaj, when Arjuna did not return, Yudhishthira Maharaj began to observe some inauspicious omens, which were very fearful in terms of. So there is a whole science about omens, you know. So these are not just superstitious beliefs. Actually, the nature manifests certain discrepancies when something wrong or something bad is about to happen. Even today, if earthquake is going to come in some area, the dogs get some sensitive, they start barking. So such kind of things happen, you know, certain, which can be seen in nature, and some animals which can be predictable of certain inauspicious things. So what he saw that the direction of time had changed, and this was very, very fearful. And there were disruptions in the seasonal regularity. So what are the seasonal regularities? That means, the rain is supposed to come in the rainy season. It's supposed to be hot in the summer season. There's some sound coming. Can you mute? So, the seasons, they have their particular nature. When it is to be hot, when it is to be cold, when it should rain. So there were regularities. The rains were coming anytime. And sometimes it will become cold in any day. Sometimes it will become too hot. But now this has become like a normal thing. But those days, any irregularity was a very big experience of people that they could understand something wrong is happening. And so this was in external seasonal irregularities. And then they saw that people's internal seasons, that means the internal consciousness also changed. And they became very greedy, angry, deceitful. And they were adopting foul means of livelihood. That means Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, they have their designated duties to do. But they were not doing the designated duties and they were encroaching on others' duties. So that was the deceitful means of. So seeing that, all the ordinary transactions, dealings, they became polluted with cheating. These days is very common, so many court cases happen. So they became filled with cheating, even between friends. Friends will cheat each other. And in familial affairs, there was always misunderstanding. In all kinds of relationships, between fathers, mothers and sons, between well-wishers, between brothers, even between husband and wife, there was always a strain and quarrel. So a king like Yudhishtir Maharaj, who knew what is the right status, right standard of such relationship and seasons and everything, then he could see that so much of disturbance is happening. So he became very concerned about it. And people in general became accustomed to greed, anger, pride. And Maharaj Yudhishthir observed all these things, and then he spoke to Bhimsen, his younger brother. And he said that I sent Arjuna to Dwaraka to meet his friends and to learn from the personality of Lord Krsna of his program of work. What is he going to do next? What is our service in that program? So he wanted to know of that. So 7 months has passed and did not come. And I am not sure how things are going there. So then he remembers, because Narad Muni had told in the last chapter, so is he going to quit his earthly pastime as Devarishi Narad has indicated, talking about the Lord? Has that time already arrived? So like that he's telling. And then he says that Yudhishthira Maharaj is always very conscious that all what we have, all what he has is only by the mercy of the Lord, not just by his own endeavor. We will see that lesson in a few minutes. So Yudhishthira Maharaj told, from the Lord only our kingly opulence, good wives, lives, progeny, control over our subjects, victory over our enemies, and future accommodation in higher planet have become possible. All this is because of his causeless mercy upon. So this is gratitude. This is a divine quality, to be grateful to Lord for all what we have. And demonic quality is to be ungrateful for what we have, thinking that we have earned it and we deserve it. And it's by our, like people say, 99% perspiration, 1% inspiration, and we have achieved it. But that is not the case. Unless Lord grants it, we can't achieve it. So let's just see some lessons from this section. So knowledge, realization, peace, and prosperity is a result of Krishna's presence. So when Krishna is present on the planet, the divine qualities, they flourish. And when Krishna leaves this planet, then the demonic qualities become very powerful. So now this is about the planet in general, but it applies to individuals also. When we are connected to the Supreme Lord through the process of devotional service, then our character will have divine quality. And when we become disconnected from the Lord, then all the demonic qualities appear in our life. Yashasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana sarver gunastatva samasateshura harav abhaktasya kuto mahadguna manorathena manaso dhavato. That how can there be good qualities in somebody who is disconnected from the Lord? Because there's no good without God, right? There's no good without God. Apparently, it may look like the things are good, people are good, but in long run, nothing good is there without the presence of God. So, if God is there with us individually, then all auspiciousness will be there. And if God is not there individually in our life, then all the demonic qualities appear. And how do we keep the presence of God in our life in a very tangible way? That is the process given by Srila Prabhupada. to attend the morning program and to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, to read Srimad Bhagavatam, to serve the deities. So Prabhupada has given us such a plan that actually throughout the day, if you see a typical devotee, he is with the Supreme Lord only, because he has to worry about tending around, sometimes rounds are remaining, so he's worrying. Sometimes he's traveling on the way, sometimes off the way, sometimes while coming, sometimes the night before sleeping, and then sometimes offering bhoga, and sometimes hearing online lectures. So in a way, although we have so many duties to perform, but still, throughout the day, there's a concern about the connection with the Supreme Lord. So that is why devotee life is all auspicious. And yeah. Material prosperity is by Lord's mercy, not by our personal endeavor alone. You see, it's very practical. So many people work hard. Sometimes we see the stories, somebody was a fruit seller and now is a big film star. Somebody was selling petrol on the petrol pump, now is a petroleum company owner or something like that. But it doesn't happen with everyone. Everyone works hard. But people attain success in their endeavors to different degrees, because this is up to the Lord how much he favors. Now, whether the Lord is partial, Lord is not partial. That is because of whatever past karma they have done. But we should know that our personal endeavors alone are not the cause of our prosperity, even at a material level, because we are so dependent. Actually, how our body functions, how the complications in the body happen, it's so difficult. We have a couple of doctors here. Tapane Mataji is there, Gaurav is there. They know how this body functions. The doctors cure it, but they are not like fully aware of how it is exactly functioning. So many complications. Every cell, every muscle, every nerve, every organ, every bone has a potential to really give so much trouble. So if we don't know how our body functions, how our mind functions, where is the possibility of everything? Plus, whatever we are able to do in this world, that is all a gift of the Lord. Suppose we have a big house, we have a bungalow where we stay. But what is the bungalow made up of? Iron, cement, and many other things, glass and other things. But where does it all come from? We did not bring anything with us. We did not create anything. We just transformed one thing into another. So all our possessions are actually property of the Supreme Lord. Our body itself is a property of the Supreme Lord. We cannot create our own eatables. We may create nuts and bolts in the factories, but the eatables which make our body sustain, they are created by the Supreme Lord only. So that is the formula to know. And when we become disconnected from the Lord, then life becomes filled with so many miserable things. So it's a very very important and very significant thing to understand, that connection with God, dependence on God is all what makes life successful. And if we become disconnected from the Supreme Lord, we become ungrateful for the gifts given by the Supreme Lord, then that marks the beginning of our miserable life. So that's a lesson which we learn here. And now that further, Yudhishtir Maharaj, let's go ahead. Yeah. So now Yudhishtir Maharaj is further describing the omens, what he's saying around him. As we discussed, that omens have certain, there were certain hints, there were certain indications, predictions that, okay, if you see this, this is going to happen. So people may not always know the basis behind them, and that is why they may look like superstitious or more ritualistic. But actually, there's a whole science in which how to understand and interpret everything is being described also. So in the further verses number 10 to 20, Yudhishthira Maharaj is describing to Bhimsen the different bad omens which he's seeing, and through whom he's suspecting that perhaps if such omens are existing now, that means Krishna has left this planet. So in the 10th verse, Yudhishthira Maharaj says that, "O Bhimsen, just see that how many miseries due to celestial influences, earthly reaction, and bodily pains, all very dangerous in themselves, are foreboding danger in the near future by deluding our intent." Right? And then the left side of my body, my thighs, arms, and eyes are all quailing again and again. And I'm having heart palpitations due to fear. All these indicate undesirable. So this is something very common for a man. When the left side of the body quivers, that means the left eye, the left arm, and the left thigh, then something inauspicious comes up. If the right side quivers, then something auspicious comes up. And for the ladies, it is just the opposite. If the lady's left side is quivering, or the left arm or the left eye, then it is considered auspicious. And if they are having shivering or quivering in the right side, that is considered inauspicious. So that can be verified even today. Even today, if we feel our left or right side is quivering, because it's beyond our control. This is by the arrangement of the demigods, because they know the events of the future before us. They know what's going to happen. So they send an indication through this quivering. And even today, if we see something like that, we can match it, and we can see that something auspicious or inauspicious connected to us or our relatives happen. And then he further says that she jackal is loudly crying at the rising sun, and dogs are barking at me fearlessly. And useful animals, cows are passing me on my left side. Usually, it's considered auspicious if cows pass from the right side. And lower animals like the asses are circumambulating, Yudhishtir Maharaj is saying. And horses appear to weep upon seeing me. And then he says the owls are shrieking, the crows are making my heart tremble. So all these birds and the owls and crows are, making noise that is considered inauspicious. On the other hand, the parrots and the manna, I don't know what you call that, they make the sound that's considered auspicious. So, and the smoke is encircling the sky, the earth and the mountains are throbbing, and there is cloudless thunder, and there is lightning is happening from the sky for no good reason. The wind is blowing very violently, and it is blasting dust everywhere, creating darkness, and clouds are raining with bloody disaster. So he could see all these anomalies, all these disturbances in the natural atmosphere around him, and that's why his mind was going again and again in the direction that maybe the Supreme Lord has disappeared. Now it's very interesting. In the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, which we can read sometime, so when Krishna appears, the appearance of Lord Krsna, then everything in the nature becomes fully auspicious. The seasons become very regular, and the earth becomes very pleasant, and the plants and the trees, they bloom with flowers and fruits. The rivers flow very steadily. The ocean becomes very calm. The demigods play, musical instruments. So it becomes very auspicious when Krishna appears, when Chaitanya appears. You can read the description. And then in the same way, when they leave this planet, then so many inauspicious things are observed. The rays of the sun are declining. The stars appear to be fighting among themselves, and all the living entities appear to be blaze and weeping. And rivers, tributaries, ponds, and the mind are all perturbed. And the butter is not igniting fire in the yajna. So what is going to happen? The calves are not sucking the milk from the cows. Now, neither the cows are giving milk. Now, previously, Kunti Maharani chapter, we read that how the cows were so happy that the milk will just naturally ooze out of their udders without even milking. And they will make the land muddy with milk, not with water, in water. So now he says that now we are seeing that cows are not even giving milk. They're standing, they are crying, tears in their eyes, and the bulls are not taking any pleasure in the pasturing ground. Also, he says that deities in the temple, they seem to be crying. All the cities, villages, towns, gardens, mines, hermitages are now devoid of all happiness. And I don't know why these calamities are coming. And then he says, I think these earthly disturbances indicate some greater loss to the good fortune of the world. And what is that? The world was fortunate to have been marked with the footprints of the lotus feet of the Lord. Now, feet of the Lord has certain symbols. A gourd is there, a flag is there, and a lotus flower is there, a chariot is there. And when Lord walks, all these symbols, they get, marked on the surface of the earth. And that is why Krishna in Vrindavan does not wear any shoes, because when you wear shoes, then the marking will not be there. So that's why Vrindavan is such a special place. So all these marks on the Krishna's lotus feet, they get imprinted on the surface of the earth, thus marking the very great fortune of Mother Earth. So these are very special signs, and somebody who says I'm an incarnation should see his hand and feet. There are special marks and lines on the hand also. One hand there is chakras mark, one hand there is a mark of the lotus. And the feet, there are all these different signs are there for the incarnation of the Lord. So he said that earth will be bereft of the footprints of Lord's lotus feet. So like that, while Maharaj Yudhishthira was observing the inauspicious signs on the earth at that time and was thinking to himself and talking with himself, that time Arjuna returned from Dwaraka. So this is the absence of Lord's footprints. Yeah. So now Arjuna returns from Dwaraka, and what is the situation? When Arjuna bowed down to Yudhishtir Maharaj, then Yudhishtir Maharaj could see that his dejection was very unprecedented. His head was down and tears were continuously gliding from his lotus eyes. So, seeing Arjuna pale due to heartfelt anxieties, again, Yudhishtir Maharaj's heart, it was there, but still Yudhishtir Maharaj was not wanting to believe it, because Narada Muni already told that Krishna will disappear in some time. So Yudhishtir Maharaj knew that it would happen. He predicted it. But we know, we have that habit that even if something happens, we hope that it has not happened. Somehow, in some way, it will fall. It will prove to be false. So it happens actually. And in COVID times, we lost many of the wonderful devotees. So even we experience that, unless we have seen their last rites and all, if it happened far off, then it looks like they will come. It looks like they're somewhere there. It looks like they will call up on phone. I still have the phone number of many of the devotees who have left, because maybe their phone is utilized by someone else. But still the number and the WhatsApp icon is there, and we see them and it looks like perhaps they're there. We write a message, they respond back. So it's the nature of the mind and the heart to not very easily believe in something which is painful or which is toward dislike. So similarly, Yudhishthira Maharaj, although he knew that perhaps it has happened, but he was trying his best that maybe there is some other reason for all these discrepancies. And that's why he was predicting, and he was questioning himself, he was questioning Arjuna. Now he'll ask so many things. From 25 till text number 39, for 15 verses almost, Yudhishthira Maharaj will ask so many things. He will ask Arjuna. And finally he would say that maybe the reason for your dejection is that your best friend Krishna has left. So he knew that, but he wanted to postpone it, and he wanted to feel that there is something else for this. So then Yudhishthira Maharaj is inquiring from text number 25 to 33, and he is inquiring about the well-being of the friends in Dwaraka, because he's coming from Dwaraka. So he's inquiring that now that you are coming from there, my dear brother, please tell me whether our friends and relatives such as Madhu, Bhoja, Dasharaha, Ara, Satvata, Andaka, and the members of Yadu family are all passing their days in happiness. Because it's natural to be concerned about the well-being of friends and relatives. And he says, is my respectable grandfather Surasen in a happy mood? Are my maternal uncle Vasudeva and his younger brothers all doing well? And Devaki and her all sisters who are the wives of Vasudeva, are they happy? Are their sons and daughters-in-law happy? And then is Ugrasen happy? Ugrasen was still in Mathura, but Mathura comes on the way when you go from Dwaraka to Hastinapura. So our Ugrasen, whose son was the mischievous Kamsa and his younger brother is still living. And our Hirdika and his son Kritavarma happy. Akrura, Jain, Gada, Sarana and Satrajit, are they all happy? How is Balram doing? Balram, the personality of Godhead and the protector of the devotees. So it was not that Yudhishthira Maharaj was not aware of their position. But he's aware of their position, but still when there's a relation, the relationship, takes precedence over the position, the knowledge of the position, gets covered over by the feelings of the relationship. So how is Pradyumna doing, the great general of the Vishnu family? Is he happy? How is Aniruddha doing? Is the plenary expansion? So Yudhishthira Maharaj is like knowing all of it. Just like gopis, when they are praying to Krishna when Krishna disappeared, then they are saying that, that we know that you are just not the son of Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda. You are the same Paramatma in the heart of all living beings. They knew that. So Krishna is there in their heart as Paramatma. But still, because of their great feeling of affection, they wanted to relate with Krishna personally. So Yudhishthira Maharaj, although he's lamenting, it is not to be taken in a material sense that he's lamenting the absence, just like, ordinary people will lament the absence of people. He was in perfect spiritual knowledge, but at a spiritual plane, they miss the association. They miss the opportunity to interact with them. They miss the opportunity to serve them. They know that we are also eternal, they are also eternal. But the connection which has got established in this life, that gets lost. So similarly, when devotees leave this world, then it is not that we are lamenting for the loss of the body. We know that the body will be lost one day or other. just a fact. Every one of us have to leave our body one day or other. But we lament that opportunity to be with them together on festivals and do kirtan together, to do chanting together, to do reading together, to go for yatras together. So that is association, that is the opportunity to serve what we miss. Not that we lament just like other people lament, oh, आप कहाँ गए, अब छोड़ के चले गए, अभी हमारा क्या होगा, बच्चे की शादी कौन करेगा. So these are not the concerns of a devotee. He knows that Krishna has a perfect plan and everything will be taken care of. That is not the concern. The concern is the opportunity to personally interact and serve. So this principle applies everywhere. Whether Lord Ram is lamenting for the loss of Maharaj Dashrath, he's lamenting so bitterly. It's like said that when in Chitrakoot, Bharat Maharaj informed Lord Ramchandra that our father Dashrath Maharaj left, Ram could not stop crying. He was lamenting and he was crying bitterly. But that lamentation is again not to be taken as a material lamentation. So he is asking that are they all doing well? Are the sons of Lord Krsna such as Susena, Charudeshna, Samba, Yamvati, Rishabh, along with their sons all doing well? So Prabhupada writes that why did not I ask all the sons' names? Because Krishna has 16,108 queens and every queen has 10 sons and 1 daughter. And each of these sons had further 10 sons. So the dynasty was so big, we can hardly imagine, but that is the Supreme Lord. So it was not possible to know the names or remember the names of everyone. So whatever the prominent names he remembered, he asked, are they doing well? Also, Shrutadev, Uddhava, and Nanda, Sunanda, other leaders of liberated souls were constant companions of the Lord and are protected by Krishna and Balaram. Are they all doing well in their respective functions? And do they remember us? Do they remember our friendship and do they remember our welfare? He's asking. So sometimes we meet somebody, then naturally we ask, okay, what do you think about that? What talk we had and what memories we share? So he's asking like that about the well-being of devotees in Dwaraka. And then further he asks direct inquiry about Krishna, and he says, is Lord Krishna the Supreme Personality of Godhead who gives pleasure to the cows? The verse is here. Bhagavan api Govindo Brahmanyo Bhakta Vatsala. He is Govinda, he gives pleasure to the cows, the senses, and is very affectionate towards his devotees. Kachit Pure Sudharmyam Sukham Aste Suhridvrata. So he is there sitting in the Sudharma assembly hall with his well-wishers. Are they all, are they all enjoying the pious assembly at Dwaraka? Like that is asking. And he says, Lord Govinda is the protector of cows and Brahmanical culture. And he says that the original person of God is the enjoyer, and Balaram, the primary Lord Ananta, are staying in the ocean of Yadu dynasty. So just like, Lord Narayan stays in the milk ocean, right? Kshirosagar, and he lies on Ananta Shesh, Lord Narayan lies on Ananta Shesh. So similarly, the Yadu dynasty is compared to an ocean because there's so many people over there. It's all a big number of people. So are they, Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram, are they staying in the ocean of the Yadu dynasty for the welfare, protection, and the general progress of the entire universe? And the members of the Yadu dynasty being protected by the arms of the Lord are enjoying life like the residents of the spiritual sky. So it is said that the Yadu Nagari Dwaraka was more opulent and more powerful than even the cities of the demigods. Because demigods also have their own palaces and own cities, like Alkapuri is there for Yakshas, and Swarga is there for King Indra, and Brahmaloka is there, all of the lokas are there. But under the leadership of Krishna, the Supreme Lord, Dwarakapuri exceeded the glories of all the heavenly planets. That was the glory of Krishna. And the best of the things from the heavenly planets, they were brought and put in Dwaraka. It was a collection of the masterpieces from all over the universe. So the Sudharma Assembly Hall, which was brought from the heavens. So Sudharma Assembly Hall is the quality that anyone who will enter into that will not, be aging there. The effect of birth, the old age and disease will not be there in Sudharma. And in fact, there was no disease in the time for there. So similarly, Krishna's associates, they are more powerful than the demigods. Each one of them. Yadu dynasty was so extremely powerful, more powerful than all the demigods put together. So then further he says that simply by administering comfort at the lotus feet of the Lord, which is the most important of all services, the queens at Dwaraka headed by Satyabhama, induced the Lord to conquer the demigods. Thus, the queens enjoy things which are prerogative of the wives of control of thunderbolt that is in. So we know that past time Krishna went with Satyabhama on Garuda and killed Bhaumasur. And Bhaumasur was such a demon, although he was son of Bhumi Devi and Varadev. But it goes to show that even, God's own son can become spoiled in bad association. So we should take this effect of bad association very seriously. It's not easy to remain pure in bad association. So Bhauma, his name was Bhauma, but because he associated with demons, he became Bhaumasur. So he stole the kundals of Aditi, the mother of the demigods, and he stole the chhatra, the umbrella of Varuda, and he brought it. He also kidnapped 16,108 princesses from all different parts of the planet. And then finally, when Krishna delivered him, after that he went to return this earrings and the umbrella, and he went there, and Indra welcomed him, treated him well, and everything. And then while going, Satyabhama said, "Oh, let's take one parijata tree to plant in Dwaraka." And so Krishna picked up, because oftentimes it's how the shopping happens. Mataji's express the desire, and then Prabhuji's pay. So Krishna, same culture. He just, okay, if you want it, let's have it. So he took it, and then he brought it back on the back of Garuda. But when the demigods heard it, then they were so, upset that how can Krishna take without permission, whatever it is, but now it is in our custody. So they all stopped. All the demigods came to fight with Krishna. Krishna defeated all of them, and then brought the parijata tree to Dwaraka. So like that, Yudhishtir Maharaj, remembering all these pastimes and saying that, queens like Satyabhama, Rukmini, and all of this, they enjoyed the company of the Lord, and they enjoyed all those things which are actually the prerogative of the demigods. So this is the effect of Krishna's presence. Krishna was present in Dwaraka, such was the opulence. So similar things apply. There is one thing about Krishna's appearance in the city of Dwaraka. So this is there, but another aspect, deeper aspect, is that Krishna's presence in our own life. And Krishna is present in our life through the holy name, through the holy deities, through the holy Bhagavatam, right? Through the service to the holy devotees. So then life is all auspicious. And the Prabhupada says that actually, even in the midst of miseries, the devotee's life, if Krishna does not undergo any problem. And Prabhupada gives his own example that the Second World War was happening, and all around people were in such a panic situation, the bombs were falling. And Prabhupada says that I was cooking kachoris. I just thought, if Krishna wills to, come in the form of the bomb and complete my life, finish my life, then let it be. So he said, well, why should I give up my duty of, making kachoris and offering? And similarly, Prabhupada says that at another time, there was a great famine. So this famine was there and the rice was not available. But he said, but we saw in Gaudiya Math, there was no scarcity of rice. As much as people could eat, it was all there. So when one surrendered to Krishna, then Krishna says, Yoga Chema Vahamiham. Krishna ensured that the material anxieties do not disturb the devotee. Now, still somebody will say, Prabhu, in devotee life also so many troubles. Actually, these troubles Krishna gives, just like the disease is painful, but the medicine which cures the disease also causes some pain. But the effect is that that pain actually cures the person, and there's no further pain. But if disease is not cured, then it increases the pain and it destroys the person completely. But suppose injection. Now injection also causes pain. When the injection is pierced, it causes some pain, but the medicine goes inside. On the other hand, there's a needle. The needle is piercing, but there's no medicine going inside. But the injection needle is piercing, but the medicine is going inside. So this is the difference between devotees going through some time anxiety and trouble and the non-devotees going through that. Both may apparently they may say, "Arey, aapko bhi kuch hai, humko bhi," but actually it's much different. And we have seen that even in like Corona times, there was so much things happening, and definitely devotee community also went through ups and downs. But still we saw devotees coming together. His Holiness Bhakticharu Maharaj, everything was on Zoom, and hundreds and thousands of devotees logging in and seeing the last rite, praying to him, offering bhoga. So everything was, in a way, there was separation, but at another level, it was just a grand festival. Every day, hearing lectures from all the different sources and coming together for the programs, for the yatra. They were virtual yatras also. So for devotees, also outside people went through depression and all. For devotee, it was like, okay, if not, we can't go physically, but still our mind and heart cannot be stopped from participating in such wonderful things. And they could participate in that. So this is the difference. When the Lord is present in life, even the miseries become the source of great opportunities to come closer to Krishna. Tomara sevaya dukha hoyat seito parama sukha seva sukha dukha parama sampada nashaya vidya dukha. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that in your service, whatever miseries come, that's the source of pleasure. And similarly, Mata Kunti is saying, which we heard in previous prayer, Vipada Santu Tashashvat Tatra Tatra Jagat Guru, that let miseries come, so that in those miseries, we are forced to come close to you, right? So we should know that, for a devotee, Krishna's presence makes everything auspicious, Krishna's absence makes everything inauspicious. That is the only criteria for everything, just like we have. Even if it is it is like puffed rice, but if it is offered to Krishna, it is prasad, the devotee is just happy with the puffed rice also, Sudama's rice. And even if there's a big feast, there is a 56-course feast and everything is there, but if it's not offered to Krishna, devotee doesn't even look at it. He's not attracted to the taste, he's attracted to that what is prasad. Of course, if 56 items of prasad are there, then he's most happy. but the thing is, connection to Krishna is what a devotee values. Rest everything else is secondary for him. So in this way, Yudhishtir Maharaj is remembering all this past time, and this says that the great heroes of the Yadu dynasty, being protected by the arms of Shri Krishna, always remain fearless in every respect, and therefore their feet trample over the Sudharma assembly house, which was the best demigods deserved, but which was taken away from them. Right? After asking like this, then Yudhishthira Maharaj asked 10 questions to Arjuna, whether his health and whether he deferred from his duty and he could not do something what he was supposed to do. And this is very important part, that if we fail in any of these duties, then we'll be very morose, we'll be very unhappy. So it's very important for every devotee or every person to follow these, norms which have been set by Yudhishthira Maharaj in the form of question is asked. So he's asking now, please tell me whether your health is all right. Because if health is not good, then the person is morose and very depressed. And even if health is all right, if we disrespect others, or we get disrespected or neglected, that is also painful. That also makes a person morose. So Yudhishthira Maharaj is asking, is it that you stayed in Dwaraka for a long time and, then you felt disrespected there, you felt neglected there, that's why you are depressed? So he's asking. So that goes to show that, Atithi, we should go only for short visits. We should be happy to receive the devotees for as long as they come, but we ourselves should become short-time guests so that we don't cause inconvenience to anyone else. That is the lesson there. Then he says, has someone addressed you with unfriendly words? Because, although we know philosophy, but when somebody speaks unkind word, unfriendly word, that causes pain, that causes, stress. Or were you not able to give charity, which you promised to give to someone? This is the important thing also. If you fail to give charity, then also it's very, it creates dejection, it creates moroseness. So he's asking whether you promised some charity, but you could not fulfill that. So whatever charity promise you make, you should fulfill it. POAP is often following up all the devotees for their contributions for the Vedic Planetarium Temple. So we fulfill that. And then he says, could you not give protection to the deserving living beings? If we have the capacity and don't give protection, that also causes dejections. And what are the deserving living beings? And he says, Brahmanas, children, cows, women, and disease. So these 5 people are dependent class, and they deserve to be protected. They deserve to be protected and given all kind of facilities for their function. So he says that could you not give protection to deserving living beings? Have you contacted a woman of impeachable character, or did not treat a deserving woman properly? So if one disrespects women, then also one becomes morose. One feels dejected. Or he says that, did you get defeated by someone? For a Kshatriya, to get defeated by inferior or equal is a matter of great shame. So are you dejected because you got defeated by someone? Or did you, fail to take care of old men and boys who should be taking prasadam with you? So this is very important. Prabhupada writes in the purport. For all these things, you'll read in the Prabhupada's purport elaboration. So Prabhupada says that actually ideal Grahastha should go out on the street and shout, is there anyone who needs food? And after satisfying everyone, then only he should take it in. So if there are old people, there are children who deserve to be cared for, protected, then they should be fed first, then one should take. It happens also in the family. The children are fed first, and then the other members take, and then the ladies of the house take. Or did you commit some unpardonable mistake? Did you commit some mistake which is abominable, which cannot be forgiven? So if we, engage in any of these 10 things, then it will not cause joy and happiness in our heart. It will cause dejection. It will cause frustration. It will cause pain in our heart. So these are the 10 causes of dejection Yudhishtir Maharaj is asking Arjuna. And finally, the worst of his fears, and he asked that. Finally, he directly asked, or is it that you are feeling empty for all time because you might have lost your most intimate friend, Lord Krsna? Oh, my brother Arjuna, I can think of no other reason for your becoming so dejected. So although he listed all these 10 reasons, thinking that maybe Arjuna is dejected because out of any of these 10 reasons, but finally he understood that actually there cannot be any other reason other than the disappearance of Lord Krsna. And because of that, Arjuna is acutely dejected. Otherwise, there was no other reason. So even though he was doubtful about it, he was obliged to inquire frankly from Arjuna on the basis of Narada Muni's indication. So in this way, this chapter concludes by this question. And now the next chapter is entitled as the Pandavas retired timely. So Arjuna will, remember all what Krishna had done for him. Everything he'll remember, because that is just going on as a part of gratitude. His heart is overwhelmed with gratitude, and he's thinking all what ways, different ways Lord has protected him, Lord has cared for him, and he will remember the Kurukshetra war, he will remember his stay in the forest, he will remember how they stayed together, how he spoke Bhagavad Gita, and he will be greatly lamenting. And finally, he will remember the instruction of Bhagavad Gita, pacify himself. Yudhishthira Maharaj, after hearing all this, did not say any word to anything, just took the dress of a mendicant and leave for Himalayas, leave towards the north. And all the brothers and Draupadi, they follow him, and Gandha, Mata Kunti and Mata Subhadra, they stay at home, and they also absorb themselves fully in thinking of Krishna. So whether we leave to the forest to think of Krishna or stay at home and think of Krishna, both are equivalent. And in this way, the Pandavas retired timely, and they hand over the kingdom to Parikshit Maharaj. So that will be next chapter. So this chapter basically has two major sections. In the first section, Yudhishthira Maharaj is seeing all the ill omens, thinking and worrying whether Krishna has left, and all these ill omens are being mentioned, and he's remembering that all the auspiciousness which we have, all the good things what we have, they're only because Krishna is with us. And then the second half, Arjuna is returning from Dwaraka, and then Yudhishthira Maharaj is, there inquiring from him what happened, and he's inquiring about the well-being of the Dwarkavasis, and later he's asking about the cause of Arjuna's dejection. And in the final verse, he says that, or is it that, Krishna has left this planet, and that's why you're dejected. So this ends with the questionnaire. It's like, this whole chapter is like a questionnaire. But it's very significant question. These 10 reasons we should read very thoroughly and see that we follow them in our lives, so that we are happy and not rejected. So we will stop here for any one or two questions. Hare Krishna Mother, thank you for your auspicious presence and blessings. You are mute, so I'm not able to hear. You are mute, Mataji. Yes. Now you can bless.
Thank you. Wonderful class, Prabhuji. Thanks a lot. It's a very wonderful class. I like the example what you gave for the injection and syringe and needle. Fantastic. Thank you so much.
This is Radha Shabru's example.
Thank you so much.
Copy and paste. So, but it's a nice example which makes the point very clear.
Yes.
So you are a doctor, so you are curing them. So you are giving the injection. It's causing pain, but it is curing also. That's nice. Thank you, Vasi. Thank you. Okay, we are open for any questions, comments for a few minutes, and then we will close at 8.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. Thank you so much for this beautiful episode and fantastic description of each and every shloka and the points you have explained about this chapter, Prabhuji. So participants, please raise your questions to Prabhuji so that he can address it. You can unmute yourself and raise a question, please.
We have one question for Prerna Mataji. What is the best response given by a devotee for dejection? Good question. Devotee may sometimes feel dejected. Devotee can feel dejected. It's a part of being in this world. But he does not remain dejected forever. He rises above it. So first he tries to find out what caused that dejection. Where did he go wrong? What was the mistake he committed? So he recognizes the mistake and then he repents for that mistake, that okay, he did the mistake, but he rectifies it. And after rectifying, he reinstates that okay, that happened, but then that is not the end of the life. You know, I still have opportunity. Now I can rectify. So it is said that, you know, if hope is lost, everything is lost. If hope is there, then everything is there. So devotee never loses hope because his hope is resting on Krishna's mercy. In fact, devotee, more than Krishna's name as Bhakta Vatsal, you know, devotees are more attracted by Krishna's name as Deen Vatsal. And there's another name of Krishna which Prahlad Maharaj calls Krapana Vatsal, which is even more dear to devotees. We'll say, okay, not only Bhakta Vatsal, the Bhakta Vatsal means we don't know when we'll become proper devotees, but he's Deen Vatsal. He is he loves the people who are Deena, who are fallen. So he doesn't feel dejected because Krishna never rejects anyone. That is his hope. In any situation, Krishna does not have the power to reject anyone who approaches him. So he knows that if any given situation I can approach Krishna, then my life is successful. There's no cause of dejection. The only thing is that I should approach Krishna. And I am never too fallen to approach Krishna. No matter what happens. Even if I'm the worst of the sinners like Jagai Madhai or like Mrigari, even if we are in that category, still there's hope because Krishna is an ocean of mercy. Ocean of mercy can give infinite mercy to anyone else that doesn't try. Krishna is Deena Bandhu, he is Kripana Vatsal. So because of knowing Krishna's greatness, a devotee does not remain dejected forever. He may go through that phase of dejection, but he recognizes and he repents for it. Why did I do that? I will not do it again. He rectifies it and then he reinstates himself in that situation of again serving Krishna. Because the ultimate truth is that we are eternally connected, eternal servants of Krishna. And no matter what happens in life, this position cannot be changed. Neither Krishna can change it, neither we can change it, neither there is any power in the world which can change our relationship with Krishna. So because the relationship is eternal, relationship is real. So okay, if some mistake happened, we definitely feel sorry for it. We definitely feel, why did I do that? Why did I blame? Why did I bring such a defamation for Krishna? Why did I bring such kind of blemish on Krishna? But then, okay, if it happened, fine. Now what? It's not the end. Now let me stand up and then go further. So this is a very important part of a devotee's mood. That devotee never feels dejected for long. It can be a short phase when he feels and he goes through that process of rectifying. But he never feels dejected, never feels depressed. Arjuna also will go through that phase. Now he will talk about it in the next chapter. But again he will rise up. He will again remember Bhagavad Gita and again gain his strength and again perform his duty. So a devotee knows that as long as he is serving Krishna, that is the perfection of life. So that is how one should deal with the dejection. Recognize and then repent, rectify and reinstate. So that is how one should deal with dejection. Okay? Any other question? Maybe one more and then. Yes, Varsha Mataji, please. Mataji, you are still on mute.
Mataji, you can unmute yourself, please.
Now she is. Yes.
Prabhuji, my question is that when somebody leaves the body, my brother-in-law yesterday morning, he left his body.
Oh, okay.
And the whole family, naturally, he was very sick. He was in the hospital. He was on ventilator. And now, you see, finally, early in the morning, around 6 o'clock, he had his last breath. And in the afternoon, all his last rites were done.
Okay.
Prabhuji, the sorrow which you get
Correct.
when you are burning the body, that hurts you so much that you feel very dejected. Just now you were mentioning about the dejection.
Correct.
I mean, if this is the end of the life, then what are we doing? The whole life we spend so much time in procuring, in doing so many things, and we are collecting, and ultimate is this only. what should be done, Prabhuji? It was very sad moment for me when I saw the flames of the body coming up.
Yeah. Mataji, we all have our well wishes, and let us say a prayer for your departed brother-in-law. Let us all chant Hare Krishna Mantra once together with a prayerful mood, praying to Krishna to bless him with his mercy. Let's all chant together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. So, Mother, definitely it is a sad news, and definitely such moments are difficult to overcome, as we said already, that there will be moments of dejection in a devotee's life, and they are very natural. They are very humanly, that these phases do come, and in each one of our lives, as I was telling, that even there are devotees. I still so much, we know all philosophy, but still, you just feel that they're somewhere there, because I'm not gone to their last ride or not seen there. They were in the other parts of the country. So still we feel so close. Maybe he'll come someday. So definitely it causes pain in the heart. It causes sorrow. It causes a state of dejection. And these emotions are very natural. And one should not deny these emotions. One should not kind of reject these emotions. One should experience these emotions, live through those emotions. At the same time, with the passage of little time, things become pacified, because time pacifies everyone. And then one should actually look at life from a philosophical perspective, that sooner or later it's going to happen with each one of us. There is no doubt about it. So one has to prepare. Now, if you see that sometimes in our society also great Vaishnavas leave. We saw the leaving of Pankaj Angri Prabhu, such great personalities. But we see that because they have been devoted to the Lord, even their leaving has inspired so many people. They have left, but they have left in a way that has inspired people in such a strong way in their spiritual enthusiasm, in their spiritual life practice. So life success is only in trying to practice devotion service to the best of our ability. And we can practice because our life is our choice, and we can share it, because even if we try to do good to others in some way, we are able to give them prasadam once, we are able to bring them to temple once, we are able to give them a mala to chant once, we are able to give them one Prabhupada book, something we are able to do. Please know that that is the greatest service, and that is the greatest benefit for them in their entire life. So we should not be miserly. We should share it with as many people as we can, to whatever degree they can accept. And we should be convinced that the success of life is in practicing devotional service and becoming as much wonderful devotee as we possibly can by Krishna's sake. So if we are endeavoring to serve Krishna, to become a pure devotee, and if we have to leave, that's fine. It's all right. We know that the life will continue. Krishna will take us to another destination where our spiritual journey will definitely continue. And then the devotees are there around us to give us the well wishes, to give us a farewell. We saw some of the last rite ceremonies in our community. They were so vibrant. I mean, it was like a festival thing, because kirtan was going on and all the devotees were reciting the different stotas, and all the last rites were performed. But even the family members, relatives, all were uplifted. They've never seen like that. 300 people coming for the last rites and everyone just appreciating. We had some memorials recently. We had a memorial just last Sunday for one Mataji called Her Grace Vrashabhanunandini Mataji. And it was such a heart-touching memorial. She was just 50 and she got introduced somewhere maybe 2008 or 9 in the Radha Kunderi temple. Many years, 13, 14 years of practice. But she practiced so intensely and she touched the hearts of so many devotees. She was so dedicated. She gave her entire life saving to her spiritual master. 55 lakh rupees of her job, salary, saving. 55 lakh, mind you, it was all earned by her in her 10 years of job in Tech Mahindra as a senior technical manager. And while giving, she said that actually this money was a burden on me, because I earned this money by doing activities and by working for people which do not deserve. I wasted my time, which was supposed to be spent in serving Krishna. So this money has been appearing like a burden for me. And our spiritual master said that actually I'm happy with the donation what you give, but I am millions of times more happy with the attitude in which you're offering this money, because this attitude of gratitude in which you're offering. So although she left and she had cancer, she was taking some treatment, but the devotee community remembers her fondly, has, praise for her. So this is going to happen. But if we become a part of the devotee community, then the life turns out to be so different. So death is inevitable. There is no doubt about that, and we need to prepare that. That's just a fact, as much as it can be. But then the part of preparation should be taken very seriously for ourselves, and whatever help we can give to others, we should not hesitate in doing that. To whatever degree, whatever extent we can actually connect through something, prasad, darshan, photographs, some kirtan, some videos, some audio, somewhere, with Ramog Lila Prabhu or Gaurgopal Prabhu or whatever way, some kirtan, Vrindavan mellow, something we connect, that becomes their, saving grace. And then we pray for them, and by those prayers, Krishna will surely place them in a position where they will continue their spiritual journey. Because ultimately, all of us have to reach back to the spiritual world. All other things are temporary phases to live in the material world in one body or another. So while we have this understanding, we should have a soft heart of understanding the feelings, and we should live through those human emotions while we are there, because there are connection at bodily level, relationship level, and we have invested our feelings in them. So we should go through them. We should not artificially reject them or be hard-hearted. At the same time, we should not become philosophically forgetful also. So it's a balance which we should make. While knowing the philosophy, we should be soft-hearted and sympathetic to the people, and wait for the right time where we can help them by connecting them to Krishna, because that's the only real help which we get. Once they connect to Krishna, then the relationship is eternal forever. I'm not sure, Mataji, whether I could answer or not. I'm little inexperienced in that, but it's just trying. Mataji, you're on mute. Please.
Yes. Prabhuji, no, we decided to get some Bhagavad Gitas, and from Faridabad, there is a ISKCON temple.
Right,
we got the Bhagavad Gitas, and people, those who will come for the condolence tomorrow,
right,
we are planning to give it to them in the memory of our brother. So this is what we thought, that this is the right way to do this. So but what you said is correct, probably, but at the same time, probably this moment is very hard for us.
Yeah, we should give her all support, and if there is some possibility of reciting Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, something, because that will give her more additional strength. So we should give her all support in whatever ways. It's true. I fully agree. Mataji, you're again mute. In case you want to speak, you can unmute. You're on mute, Mataji. Mataji, you have again gone on mute. Varsha Mataji, you are on mute, Mataji. Haribol. She's not seeing the screen or hearing. Mataji, please unmute. Mataji, you are on mute. We could not hear what you said last. Hare Krishna. Mataji, you are on mute. I don't know what to do.
I am also not able to unmute her, Prabhuji. I tried for unmuting from here, but it's not happening.
We cannot unmute without their wish. Mataji, please unmute if possible. If you are able to hear me, please unmute. Actually, she's clicking on the video button, so the video goes off and on. Yes, Mataji, now
yes,
you're...
yes, now I'm... yes, Prabhuji, what you said is absolutely right, and we are trying to do that, and everybody was very supportive, no doubt about it. But at the same time, these things leave a very deep impact on your mind that you see, finally the body goes to flames and it becomes to ashes, and it is so difficult to bear this pain. But at the same time, you said that this is the ultimate end of the human life. So thank you so much, Prabhuji, for explaining it so well.
Thank you. But right now you give her support and you talk about philosophy a little later. So right now people need emotional support. So you do the best. You offer prayer for her and ask some devotees to come and do kirtan if it is possible. Bhagavad Gita can be recited a chapter a day or so. Or Bhagavatam.
We recited chapter 18th and every day. Yesterday we did Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita. And then from the 8th chapter, Antakale cha mameva Swanmukta Kalevaram. See, we spoke about that. And this is how I'm just trying to specify them that this is what is, this is what life is, and we should be. We have to live with it.
Yeah. So what happens? The spiritual wisdom gives a lot of strength. So we can definitely share that, and gradually, with the passage of time, people accept the reality. Then we can, see what best we can help them and serve them. But you can tell her, and with you also, we all are there with you. We are together in this time of need, and we definitely offer our prayers to the Lord to bless him with a destination where he definitely continues. So it's all, the philosophy and the practice and the practical things, they all go together. At a practical level, there's a loss. Definitely the relationship is now broken. But at a spiritual level, the relationship is still continues with Krishna in the center. So definitely we wish well for him wherever he is gone. And
thank you so much, Prabhuji.
So we will end here, and we'll meet you next week. Krishna willing. Thank you all very much for joining in, and grateful for your very enthusiastic participation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Yes,
Prabhuji, could I add one thing, Prabhuji?
Yeah, please.
Prabhuji, today I just heard a lecture by Yudhishtir Maharaj, and Maharaj was recounting the episode of a person who got connected in a very short time.
Right.
By the hearing Bhagavatam lectures and by tasting prasad. So after that, Maharaj could not connect to him for some years, but that person always remembered him very fondly. So it was a very touching experience which was shared by Arjuna Maharaj. Yeah, I'll try to share that lecture on YouTube. No, group. It is a little created because ultimately Maharaj could not meet that person again because he had passed away. But Maharaj remembered that how the person took up Krishna consciousness by the association of devotees. So I'll try to put it up. I'll try to share that link probably.
Even Maharaj's mother, Maharaj has given her some books many years back, and then Maharaj was not in regular touch. But then she read the books and she started following, and she departed in a very Krishna conscious way. So definitely when people come in touch, life gets transformed to different degrees for different people, but it's very transforming. So thank you for sharing it, Gaurav Prabhu. Very happy to see you also. And we stop here for today. Thank you very much, Prabhu, for hosting it. And Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Bhagavatam ki jai.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, everyone, for the participation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji.